I think everybody had that moment in your life when you aspire to be something in your childhood. That very cliche moment with people asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And well, I would answer that I want to be an archaeologist because of Lara Croft. As a 80 years old child, I had some misconception about some professions. And because of Tomb Raider, I always thought that being an archaeologist would mean traveling around the world, exploring ruins, finding ancient artifacts, while fighting mystical creatures with a ton of gunpowder and silicon in my breasts. Nowadays, I clearly have a better perspective in this occupation. I know what is real and what is fiction. And of course, I'm talking about the ton of gunpowder. Anyways, in this video, we are exploring and analyzing it, not my first Tomb Raider game, but the Tomb Raider game that changed my perspective in how video games are and what they can do. Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation is the fourth game in the retro era of core design games. This entry in the series briefly introduced Lara Croft's past, showing her as a teenager on an expedition with her mentor, Werner von Kroll. They were searching for the Iris, an ancient artifact hidden in a Cambodian temple. However, things took a turn for the worse when a trap was triggered, forcing Lara to abandon her mentor. Fast forward to 1999, and Lara is now in Egypt, where she accidentally released the wicked Egyptian god Set while exploring an ancient tomb. The game then follows her journey across Egypt, as she searches for the pieces of Horus armor, the only way to restore order and defeat Set. But the task isn't easy, as she soon finds herself facing an old acquaintance, who has now turned to the dark side, possessed by the same god she's fighting against. When The Last Revelation was released in 1999, it was met with mostly positive reviews. Critics praised its gameplay innovations and Lara's updated character model, which was now more detailed. If I'm not mistaken, it had over on more than 500 polygons. However, some reviews at the time started calling the franchise repetitive and stale. And I get why they were saying this. This was the early 2000s at the time, and it was the time of a quick technological advancement in all the areas you could imagine. People were being amazed by how and what video games could do, and the industry was developing very fast. Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation sold around 4.74 million copies worldwide, which, to someone like me who is not a math enthusiast, sounds like a massive success. But compared to previous games in the core design era, its sales didn't quite measure up. For comparison, if we take the first game in instance, the game had sold 7.16 million copies, the highest in the series at the time. As well, for the second and the third game, they sold around, respectively, 6.85 million and 5.94 million copies worldwide. Thinking about the good things that I like and love about this game would be a little bit biased because old school adventure platformers hold a special place in my heart. There's something satisfying about calculating every jump and sprint, adding a layer of difficulty that I genuinely enjoy. Of course, I understand why some people don't like it. With this remaster that have arrived, I think, in February the 14th, they added modern controls. Something that everybody can experience the game the way they prefer. One aspect of the game that I really like is its semi-nonlinear progression in certain areas. It felt like core design was testing new waters, though they didn't fully return to this concept until the Age of Darkness. Oh, and I can't talk about Tomb Raider without mentioning environmental immersion, whether it's the Retro Era or the Crystal Dynamics trilogy. These games excel at creating stunning atmospheric worlds. In Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, a game that was totally centered in Egypt, they managed to recreate real-life locations like the Valley of the Kings, the Temple of Abu Simbel in Aswan, the Temple of Karnak in Luxor, the Mosque of, I hope I pronounced this correctly, in Bitloun in Cairo, and many more breathtaking historical sites and natural wonders. The attention to detail is insane. To be honest, it's hard for me to criticize this game, even with the new mechanics in the remaster. But if I had to nitpick, two things stood out to me that was kinda hassle for me to deal playing that. The first one would be the lighting and shadows. Some areas in the remaster are way darker than the original, which forced me to use more flares than the game originally intended, which was a little bit disappointing, but not something that made me completely hate the experience. Another thing that I had a problem with was the modern controls. Oh, but you just mentioned that. Yes, I did. But there's only one thing, small thing that I really hated that is actually a standard. It's default. You can change that. That it is... Why do I need to press RT to climb a ledge?
Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
I have never played a game where this is a thing, and it feels so weird to me. It's actually discouraging me for using the modern controls a little bit, even though they look very great. I'm not hating on you, I'm not throwing rocks at you, Asper, but weird choice, Asper, weird choice. Now, to answer a question that nobody asked but I will answer even though is why did I want to make this video? And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I just wanted to share my thoughts and excitement about seeing another batch of old school Tomb Raider games getting remastered. Maybe I want to make more people aware of them since I think they're a great option for anyone who enjoys adventure platformers or retro games for past console generations. Or maybe I just needed an excuse to talk about one of my hyperfixations on the internet and I'm actually using this video to test waters if I'm doing good at creating videos because this is something that I really want to try it a long time. I mean, actually I can't point out how many times that I really enjoyed having fun watching videos or analysis talking about old retro games. But anyways, for me, Tomb Raider The Last Revelation is the ultimate reference when answering what is Tomb Raider about and who is Lara Croft. Yeah, it might sound cheesy, but this game had a huge impact on me. Lara's personality, the adventure's feel, the level design, it all set a high bar for what I consider a fun adventure platformer. Admittedly, that's made me a little picky with other games, but hey, what can I say? I'm just like the rest of you, a nostalgia-fueled fan who willingly suffers through tank controls just to relive childhood frustration. That said, I actually might give the modern controls another try, even if it means pressing RT to climb. So, this was my first video and let me say, what a ride. I had so much fun writing the script, even though I clearly procrastinated for weeks. As well, it was very fun to record the gameplay and editing the video, something that I remember that I had to do later because I focused first in the script and recorded myself talking, and then I remember, oh yes, they need something to see and I need to edit the video. Nevertheless, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you really like to see me covering other games, commenting about it, or just playing for the sake of playing, let me know in the comments. I'm especially into obscure retro and indie games. So, I really have to finish this video now. So to patch up everything, thanks again for watching this video. Give it a like, a comment, subscribe to my channel if you want, but I really want. But if you want, I appreciate it. And last but not the least, have an amazing night and see you guys on the next video.